What's up guys, and welcome to the second episode of the Homegrown career mode in FIFA 19. Do you want to start today's episode off real briefly by saying thank you for the support in the series opener. I really appreciate it. As I said in that last episode, this is not my main career mode for the FIFA year. That'll be starting in a couple of weeks or so, but I thought between now and then, we may as well kick off with another series instead, and why not try a unique idea. And I explained the series premise in the last episode. If you missed it, definitely go back and watch it. There'll be a brief introduction to the series and what it's all about, and you guys seem quite excited for it, and I'm really looking forward to producing this as well, because I've had this idea for a couple of years now. Was going to do it last year, never did, and I'm excited to kick off. It was a good series opener, and today, as you can see, we begin by making a new sale. Manolo Gabbiadini's left the club. He's gone to Leicester City at King Power Stadium for £11 million, and also Oriol Romeu left for £10.3 million to Athletic Bilbao in Spain, and also Jan Bednarek had a bid here of £3.1 million for Athletic Mineiro as well. Now, after the sales in the last episode, Gabbiadini and Romeu sailed there, and of course win the pre-season tournament as well. Our budget is shot up to £55.6 million. So there is a lot of cash in the bank right now with an 80-20 transfer to wage budget split. And in the last episode, you guys saw my shortlist of Southampton Academy graduates we're aiming to bring back to St Mary's. There was 10 on the list. We signed one in the last episode in Morgan Schneidlin, who, thank you to those in the last episode as well that left comments and told me you came from Strasbourg. Appreciate it very much. Didn't know that, so cheers for the info. And there were 9 names left, and as you can see, we started today's episode with the money in the bank, going after a big new signing and one of the biggest names on the list, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who of course came through the Southampton Academy, left to Arsenal, then of course went to Liverpool, and of course Chamberlain with a tragic injury. Such a shame. He's a player that is so hard working. I love Chamberlain's work ethic, really high stamina. Physically, he's very good. He's very quick, very agile, and I just love his game. I love everything about Chamberlain. He's so versatile. He works really hard, and I think, for me, that's the sort of player I love. A player that works really hard and is willing to grind for the team. And Chamberlain comes back here for £24.5 million and becomes our second signing of the season, and I'm absolutely buzzing for it as well, because he's one of the biggest names on the list, and I'm really pleased to get him in as our second signing of the window. Now, as you can see, he signed on a 4-year deal, and it was 54 grand a week. And just real briefly on this, I have to say I'm really stunned at some of the contract negotiations in FIFA since the new transfer negotiation system came into place, because it just seems so trivial at times how much players ask for in terms of their salary. Like Chamberlain, I know he's got he's had injury problems, but 54 grand a week. It's far too low, isn't it? But we're not complaining, but it's just a little bit, I don't know, it's a bit strange really from EA. But regardless, Chamberlain comes in, and we mentioned his versatility a moment ago there. Chamberlain, of course, has spent time playing right wing back for Arsenal before he moved on to Liverpool. And of course, when we signed him in our Huddersfield Town career mode last year in Huddersfield Town season, we played him at right back. And as you saw in the team management setting there, I'm probably going to play him right back this season, because whilst he is best playing through the middle of the park, or at least in my opinion, he can play there. He's versatile enough to play there, and we've got enough central midfield talent as it is right now already. We don't have good quality right backs. We've got no quality right backs right now. So Chamberlain will probably play right back for us this season, and we'll see how he gets on. There's also been Fraser Forster. We accepted that from Racing Club, because whilst of course he is English and trained in the nation, and we can use him, we've already got Angus Gunn, we've got Alex McCarthy, and we've got Jack Rose as well. So we can afford to sell one of those goalkeepers there, and I don't mind selling Forster, as he is the oldest of the bunch. And also we went for a new signing as well, Nathan Dyer from Swansea, valued at £2 million. Of course, Dyer is such an interesting player, spent such a long time playing for Swansea, was part of their championship promotion squad with Brendan Rodgers many years ago now, and of course in the 2015-2016 season was loaned out to Leicester and ended up winning a Premier League winners medal. I don't think he would have predicted that when he joined the King Power Stadium. What a career he's had. And of course he came through the Southampton Academy many years ago now. So 30 years old, valued at just 71 overall. He's not got that much left in him. He's certainly not as quick as he used to be. And in the end, the wages we offered him were apparently insulting. So he decided to just leave negotiations, even though I offered him around what is right now his base salary of around £16 million. So I don't know what on earth happened there. But again, it's one of the things for me which is just a bit strange, isn't it? Like the wages were insulting. He didn't even decide to negotiate. As much as I do like the transfer negotiation system that EA implemented last year, I have to say at times it's a little bit strange. It's the negotiations at times just seem really, really confusing to me, and I don't think there's much logic behind it either. But either way, Nathan Dyer walked out. We'll try and sign him again in a week or two, and we can do so. But also, I went after another Liverpool player, Adam Lallana, who of course moved on from Southampton to the Reds, and we agreed a deal of £11.5 million, I think it was, plus Cedric Suarez, very talented right back, of course we can't use due to him being Portuguese. As we try and bring Lallana back to the St Mary's as well, as you can see right here, we offered him a 5-year deal. He said no, he wanted a 3-year deal, so I said 4-year deal, take that, Adam. He said yes, and as you can see, his wages were 100 grand a week to begin with, and we offered that plus a sign-on bonus as well. I thought I don't want to walk out like Nathan Dyer did. I wanted to sign for the club, and as you can see, straight away he said fair offer. So 100 grand sign-on bonus, and 100 grand a week, £1 million sign-on bonus, and Lallana comes in. And apparently it was a controversial £19 million transfer fee when we gave him Cedric as well. But regardless, he's a very talented player, Lallana. He's full of flair. He's got bags of that. There's no doubt about it. He can pick a pass, Lallana, as well. Very creative on the ball. And we're bringing him back. And of course, we're playing a 4-4-2, so he'll be part of our midfield quad in the 4. Playing centrally, but I am tempted to switch to a 4-4-2 diamond and have him as the cam in the diamond, so we can utilise his creativity skills. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But following that, we decided to go after a new signing and went after Andrew Sermon of Bournemouth, 31 years old, now rated 76, and we offered a straight swap deal with the Cherries for Andrew Sermon of Hanson first, and they said no, that deal simply put wasn't good enough. Eddie Howe was having none of that, as you offered a young talent there, and then after them Wesley Holt, and Eddie Howe said that was totally fine. So it's always great when you can do a career mode like this where you need to sell certain players and you can swap them out, as opposed to waiting for bids that come in that sometimes never do. So a straight swap deal there for Sermon, and again 76 rated. He's not bad, but 31 years old, hasn't got that much left in him, no doubt about it. And as you can see, he was trying to get him on a 3-year deal. He said he only wanted a 1-year deal, so here for the year, one and done, and then leaves. We got him on a 2-year deal instead, which isn't too bad, I suppose, for a 31-year-old. It'll probably take him up until retirement. We also accepted a release clause of £11 million as well, and we agreed a salary of 31.5 grand a week as well, with a 200 grand sign-on bonus. So Sermon comes in, yet another central midfielder signed for Southampton as he arrives. I'm not sure whether we'll go straight into our first 11 and we'll take out the captain, Stephen Davis, and play him alongside Lallana, but he would complement Lallana's style of play really nicely if we do indeed switch to 4-4-2 diamond, because Sermon is best, in my opinion, as just a deep-lying playmaker and anchor man. Doesn't stray too far forward, just knows his role and does it efficiently. He's an industrious sort of player, he's an efficient sort of player, and he would complement Lallana quite nicely. For the time being, we'll stick with the captain Stephen Davis and Lallana in a 4-4-2, but if we're not creating enough, we need a change of formation. That's definitely the go-to. Sermon DM, Lallana attacking midfielder. But after the signing, regardless, we had our first scouting updates. Our scouts based in Belgium, France and England came back to us after the first month's worth of missions, and as you can see, we picked up 3 players for the academy right from the get-go. Alexander de Klerk, who's a 15-year-old Belgian valued at 200 grand, who sadly we can't promote straight away, as youth players need to be 16 or older before we can promote them. Sadly, no one from France in the first month's worth of scouting. Bit of a shame. Morgan Schneiderlin waiting for a young Frenchman to tutor still, but no French talents in the first month. Hopefully in the second month we'll get some decent players. We rejected almost all of them and just kept Baumont in the scouting. But from Wilson in the English scouting pool, we picked up 2 players for our academy. Archie Cook, a centre-back, whose overall is quite low. However, he's 6'3" at 17 years old, looks pretty talented, 210 grand valuation. And Jamie Jackson, this could be the one, 16 years old, 52 for 70 in the overall, 67, 91 potential, and JJ looks very talented indeed. So great to get 3 players to the youth team there, and as you can see, Jackson valued at 525 grand for the transfer fee. Physically not the best, technically some decent stats, including 74 curve. But the potential not bad either. And Archie Cook as well, 57 overall, 6'3". We can't check his potential yet, but with 84 aggression on the 17-year-old, I really like that. High aggression on a centre-back is usually quite useful. And I think Archie Cook coming out of the academy, 83 aggression already. He's going to be one to watch, a feisty character, no doubt about it. We offered him both contracts though, got him straight into the first team, of course in Homegrown career mode. We'll be using these youth players quite frequently. Can't find out Cook's potential to begin with. We'll find out once he gets 60 overall, but can play central defence midfielder as well as centre-back as well. 2-star skills, 3-star weak foot, low-high work rates, perfect on a centre-back. And again, physically not too bad with 75 jumping already. Technically needs a lot of work, no doubt about it, but still one to watch for the future. And also Jamie Jackson, showing great potential. I was a little bit disappointed about that. There was an exciting prospect or higher, but showing great potential, still pretty decent. Left wing, right wing, cam and CM are the listed positions. 3-star skills, 3-star weak foot, a left-footed player with high-low work rate. And he looks okay. Technically, again, pretty decent. Good ball control, good long shots, good free kicks as well, and good curve too. And I gotta say, for those that have been on this channel for a while, he reminds me of a certain player that we used to have playing on the left, sometimes on the right, sometimes through the middle. He was an Italian. He came through the Watford Academy. I'm sure you know the name. If you do, let me know who it is in the comment section down below. He reminds me a little bit of him with the versatility he's got and the range of stats he could have in the future as well. But regardless, 2 good youth players at the academy there, and I'm glad to get them both in. And also, we completed the episode by making a new signing as well. Nathan Dyer did agree at the second time of asking a new contract. Didn't say the wage we were offering was insulting this time. Wanted $19.5 grand a week, and we gave it to him as well. So Dyer comes in, and he becomes our 4th and final signing of the episode, and the 5th so far. So in the noteworthy eligible players to sign, we signed half of the list already. Bale, Walcott, Shaw, Chambers and McCarthy are the only players left, and I'm targeting to bring at least one of those players this season as well. Perhaps Callum Chambers or Theo Walcott in January, or maybe Luke Shaw. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But Dyer's in regardless, and I'm pleased to get him in. He's a decent player, and as a squad player, he won't offer us too much, but he's got depth for us, and that's one of the most important things for us, really. Good quality and depth from Southampton Academy graduate players. So this is the team heading into the first game of the season. As you can see, lining up in a 4-4-2. The 4-4-2 diamond is certainly something I will consider in the future. Again, we'll start with a 4-4-2, but I do like the idea of playing the diamond. It does intrigue me quite a lot, and as you can see, every player at the club now is homegrown, training the nation or training the club, apart from Vestergaard, Hansen and El Unicy, who hopefully will sell before the window closes. So here are the current homegrown players then. For trained in the nation, we've got 8 of the 10 players after the sale of Fraser Forster. 8 of the 10 players trained in the nation, and after the 4 signings made today, 5 in total, plus the 2 academy graduates, we now have 23 of the 20 we are required to have to start the season off. So we've hit the homegrown quota, we haven't gone over the limit to train the nation, and of course we've also hit the minimum amount of players we needed trained by the club, which was 20, which means we're ready to start the season off with our new look / old look, if that makes sense, Southampton team. And I'm really excited for it. You know, in the first window, this is exactly what I wanted to do. We still need to, of course, sell or loan out or release Hansen, El Unicy, and Yannick Vestergaard. Vestergaard can't be sold because he's a new signing. We can either loan him out or, if worse comes to worse, release him. And there's still money in the budget left as well. We've got about £28.2 million after the season ticket income to work with too. So there is still a chance we could sign Luke Shaw in this first window. We don't really need him, as we've got Ryan Bertrand, our starting left back, Matt Targett on the bench, Sam McQueen can play there. I think Josh Sims can play there as well. I'm not entirely sure, but there's at least 3 left backs here regardless. We don't really need Luke Shaw, but I guess if we've got the money to spend, we can certainly consider it, and I guess we'll have to wait and see. We don't really need to do in the window so far though, and again now it just comes down to where we can sell those 3 players before the window slams shut, which hopefully, touch wood, we'll be able to do. So for the first game of the Premier League season, we welcome Burnley to St Mary's with our new look / old look Southampton team, and I was really excited for it. You know, of course, Andrew Serm was on the bench, as with Nathan Dyer, Jackson and Cook, but also we saw debuts for Schneiderlin, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Lallana as well, so I was really excited for the first game of the season. The game finished 0-0, a goal of straw in real life, but I was hoping for more action, more chances, and hopefully goals for Southampton as well. And the first chance fell to Burnley inside the first 5 minutes, with Goodmanson down the right hand side rolling into Defoe, who tested McCarthy at his near post, but a simple save for Alex as he turned it behind for a corner. But we had a good chance here a few minutes later as Lallana, the creative player, found Charlie Austin just outside the area, found a little bit of space to let fly, but fired it over the bar and behind for a goal kick. So early attempts for both sides in this game. With 17 minutes in, a great chance fell to us here with Redmond going down left hand side, beating Matt Loughton for pace here. Cuts inside, stops the ball, drags it back and crosses. The deflection falls to Austin. A nice little bit of improvisation there from Charlie. Flicks over his head, but volleys it over the bar. In the first half, we had most of the ball. We had 3 shots, 1 more than Burnley. Burnley, but unfortunately just could not hit the target and test Tom Heaton, as we were still deadlocked at 0-0. So in the second half, we needed to hopefully try and get the shots to fall on target and be a much more direct threat. And in the 59th minute, we had the chance with Lallana down the right-hand side, crossing to the centre. Ings won the ball in the centre and headed it past Heaton and into the back of the net to give us the lead and put us in front. Lallana, we discussed him. He's got the creativity. He's the guy I'm predicting this season to have more assists than anyone else, pick the passes and set up the goals, and that's exactly what he did for the first goal. 59 minutes in, sent down the right-hand side, whipping across into the centre, and Danny Ings beat Ben Mee to the ball and heads it past Heaton and into the back of the net. Nice through by Chamberlain, nice turn by Lallana, a wonderful cross with that lovely 5-star weak foot, such a great asset to have on any player, and Danny Ings, great header into the back of the net, puts us up by a goal. So Ings makes it 1-0 and the perfect start for the on-loan Liverpool striker. So 1-0 to the Saints. Burnley tried to respond 68 minutes in, though, this shot going just wide of post and behind for a goal kick, and yet another chance fell 8 minutes later as Goodmanson received the ball and played it into Chris Wood. Wood found a bit of space to shoot, and the deflection went wide of post and behind for a corner as Burnley pressed for that equalising goal to get back on level terms. And through the corner, Stephen Defoe would take it, whip the ball into the far post, and Alex McCarthy, who played quite well in this game, well, he won't want to see this moment again. Corner to the back stick, comes out to claim it, should be a routine catch for the English goalkeeper, but instead gets beat in the air by James Tarkowski, and it's headed into the back of the net by the defender, and Burnley get themselves the equalising goal. There's no foul, absolutely no foul, it's just a great leap by Tarkowski, leapt like a salmon to reach that ball in the air there, and McCarthy just took his eyes off the ball there, straight through his gloves, and Tarkowski puts it home, and Burnley back on level terms. With an error there, it's 1-1, but in the final minute of normal time, there was late drama, and a chance for the Saints to win the game and claim the 3 points. Sermon found Josh Jackson as the subs linked up off the bench here with a quick little 1-2. The 16-year-old burst onto the scene, went for goal, and oh, what a story it would have been had he found the back of the net with that strike from just outside the area. Great effort by the teenager, hits the top of the crossbar, and sadly Burnley cleared, and the final whistle was blown not too many seconds later. So final score at St Mary's, Southampton 1, Burnley 1. It's not a winning start, it's a draw just like in real life, but not a terrible start for us. This season I'm targeting mid-table, that'll be totally fine for me, and there were certainly positives in this game for sure, no doubt about it. So close to winning it, right at the death from Josh Jackson, what a story it would have been. But regardless, a decent performance, we passed the ball around really nicely in this game, 86% pass accuracy and 61% possession, just couldn't put too many shots on target. That was a downfall really, creating chances, not hitting the target enough times, but regardless, some positives to start off with and not a terrible beginning. But that will end today's episode of the Homegrown Career Mode, guys, so big thank you for watching and hope you have enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy the episode, please drop a like. Much love, have a great Friday night, and I'll see you for the next episode, episode number 3, with hopefully 1 or 2 more signings, plus some more games as well, very soon.